how do you handle unexpected situations when somebody does something you're not expecting?
Who would you say were the most influential people in your personal professional life? No, I mean from your perspective.
No chance.
Listen to the feedback.
What should we be
host.
looking forward to in the next year, in the future episodes? Nobody really knows who you guys are. So how would you define yourselves in your professional life, and about your career journey, and how what kind of a path you've taken to become the person you are now and to sit here? Hello and welcome to a holiday special of, first of all, you're wondering who is this guy. My name is Adler, and we're here not because we hijacked this show, but because this is a special episode. And I'm here with my extelligent colleague and co-host.
Listen to that.
Natalia,
Thank you.
Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Adler.
Never been called that before.
Yes, I am indeed called Natalia.
No,
Thank you for
Extelligent.
introducing me. And I would like to thank Extelligence.com for hosting us and inviting us to host this podcast.
Featuring Lawrence of Arabia sat over there.
With the most amazing two guests.
And you know who we are?
You can listen to more if you subscribe to Info Matters podcast.
You said it right. Well
Ladies
done.
and gentlemen,
Info Matters
So-
podcast.
Kenny and Kenny.
Get some!
Well, I mean, you made a lot of noises before we even got to introduce you, which is not
fairly
very
obvious.
unlikely of
You
yours.
can see we've been hijacked with our
Well,
jumpers.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. But we wanted to give the host,
Thanks for coming, guys.
and the guests and the audiences to
A bit of a break.
have a better view of who these people are who are hosting this.
Can I bring up one thing though?
episodes.
We didn't get a rider. I've got no water, and this is really quite cramped considering me and Kenny are very close together.
The contract today was that these guys won't be interrupting. So we're going to start that
Which
contract.
was also the feedback that
now
we
on.
received,
Yeah,
that
we
you're
should-
interrupting
Yeah,
too much.
exactly.
So
We
you
should
will
shut up
see
more.
and experience it firsthand
So-
how it feels to be
Yeah, it's
interviewed
tight.
on your own
Yeah.
podcast.
Thank you
That's
guys
what
for.
she said.
You're very
thanks for
welcome.
doing
Appreciate
that.
it.
What we're here
Yes,
having is our very lovely Mr. Danny Bunyan,
Yeah.
who has been a man of all kinds of talents.
Yeah.
From, let's say, projects and program management, application leadership, security and cybersecurity, implementation, deployment, integration and transition, entrepreneurship, joint ventures, painting, art, music, all kinds of things. Motorcycles, exactly.
Ducatis.
Thank you. Yes. And on the other hand, we have Kenny.
He also did all of the above.
No, sorry. Yes,
You can have half of mine.
Yeah,
now.
thanks, Mike.
That's
Actually,
true.
my only real role here is to translate.
You nearly said hero. You nearly said
hero.
hero.
Almost. My
Yeah.
two heroes here, and my only role here is to translate between Glasgow and Manchester.
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go.
Good luck with that.
Not to
I will
mention.
try. This may be the only time I speak
But you know what?
tonight.
We should have used
But it
AI
was
because
very
they're
nice.
even about to start using AI to
In
translate
Teams, yeah.
translate the most archaic version of Greek. So they
Yes,
can translate
I mean,
these stuff.
Thinking about team
why
members.
not? Let's,
Thanks for coming on the show, guys. Even though it's not our show anymore.
Yeah,
And
same
no
to you.
longer-
Yeah.
No longer we're done.
Yes.
We're
No
done. Like
longer
and
your
subscribe, but just
Um,
remove our email addresses.
To be honest, this is going to be, I mean, this is a festive season. It's a
Course.
surprise for
Happy
everybody.
holidays.
And there's somebody's going to find something surprising under the tree. And your surprise is that you're no longer host of this.
That's true. But you guys look good. You look
Starting
good.
today.
You look good, Saturday. I
We
think
look
we look
fucking amazing.
better.
Yeah,
Apologies.
We do look better. I mean,
We've
look, we're
introduced a
cool,
little
aren't
bit of diversity and inclusion, so...
we? I mean, Kenny, you can tell we've
I
done
mean,
the
we
show
did show
before.
your
Yeah,
pictures
What
to
do you
the
mean
plastic
diversity?
surgeons,
Are
and
you-
this is
are you
what
telling
turned
that
out.
I
Like
shouldn't
I
be
just
here?
said,
You should be-
Adler
well,
showing
you get the
Kenny.
point.
Okay.
Controversial.
Yes. But to your point, you're right. You've done all of those things too. Everything that I mentioned before is joined between the two of you. You
Very
had
much.
a very long history working together, doing
True.
a lot of things, in the same level in different
Yep.
industries, with entrepreneurship, having your own businesses, or with the pharma, with all the other businesses, sales, IT, HR, all kinds of
The
different
show's
things.
going to end in a sec if you keep
And-
reading it all.
Thank you. And well, let's start with Mr. Kenny Phipps. Can I call you Mr.?
You
Is
can,
it?
you
is
can
it
call me
okay?
anything you like.
Okay. Then why?
Dangerous!
We'll get it later. We'll get it later.
I know what you're going to say.
There may be a question on it.
I think
But since we
as an
started with
internal
this
joke.
wonderful
Yeah.
festive season, What would be your professional wishes for Christmas?
My
Or
professional
From
wishes.
Ježíšek.
They closed it, didn't they? It was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. It was, I mean,
this year?
professionally, I've always been historically shit at taking holidays, and I mean, it's mandated. I have to leave my office, but I am literally downing tools a little bit earlier this year for a little bit of well-earned rest and respite from people having to listen to my drivel on the podcast and no doubt other places. So professionally, I'm going to unplug. And you will find me up a tree somewhere for the duration of the 2 weeks over the festive season, and of course maybe the podcast.
Up a tree, yeah.
I say up a tree, up a ski slope. Up a
Oh, I
tree.
can picture it.
Any
I'm
of
like,
the
why,
above.
why up a tree?
I mean,
Après-ski, he meant
Oh,
après-ski.
après-ski.
I heard
yes.
up a tree, which is a bit more interesting.
Well, it could be a mixture of both. Professionally, I usually work. I'm not doing it. Totally unplugging this year, and I think the way the dates fall helps because we get
Midweek, isn't it?
Yeah, it's midweek, so you get
That's
a
what you're going to do, but what is your wish?
What is my wish?
Professional wish.
You said it,
What
up a tree.
happened?
Well, I don't know if I wish to be.
You want to
able
borrow my stepladder?
What is my wish? I mean, global.
I wish I knew my real
global
ladder.
peace and tranquility, happiness and. I mean, I to be serious for that split second that we are. Happiness is a really hard thing to achieve, but moments of joy are easier too, and I plan to laugh quite
My,
majestically.
my mind's boggling at the moment.
Yeah, wait for
Up
his
a
answer.
tree, moments of joy.
So,
Wow.
if we ask the same
What was the
question to you,
Where would
be
you
your
wanna put up a tree?
professional wish for holidays this year?
Disappear.
Disappear.
Yeah, that every VPN connection on the planet, every server in a data center would fall over. People erase my address, forget who I am, and wish them all a Merry Christmas. No, that's very serious.
That's
I'm
actually
working all the
quite
way through it.
interesting.
What
Let's
would
yeah,
you
yeah.
do if your wish had been granted?
Fuck, I'm not
Well, I
going
wouldn't be
back January.
drinking, probably not having much fun. I'd probably be up a tree with Kenny. Can I come?
Mate, welcome back.
Yeah,
The more the
but
merrier,
it's
the merrier.
actually quite interesting because both of you are very well established in the world of digital IT,
Yeah.
all those cybersecurity, everything. All the guests that you hosted,
Yeah.
you have experience in the areas that you were basically interviewing them in.
No,
and
because you didn't work for NASA, and I can't operate a
Well,
supercomputer.
true.
Yes,
Yeah,
but,
I mean,
but,
well,
in,
yeah.
let's
But no,
say
but it was
in
in
the
cybersecurity,
industries,
yeah.
in the industries that they work in, not in the companies that they
Yeah,
work
yeah,
in, but in the
yeah.
industry, you had a hand in at least one way or the other. And
Yeah.
it's an interesting thing that you mentioned that you want to disconnect from all of that, and you just have a
Zero
unplugged.
trust.
You want to have you want a zero trust.
A zero trust
And you
Christmas.
want to have an unplugged kind of a holiday.
It'd be nice.
And that would be your
That'd be
wish.
nice.
And I'll get back to Natalia's question. What would you do with that time, and how would you feel by?
Can't say on this show.
Okay.
Can't say on this
Wow.
show. Well, I don't know. You mentioned a lot of things at the start, and when we met last time, no,
I did my homework.
you did, yeah, you did. Well, you probably that's Danny Bunyan. I'm done. Looked at my LinkedIn, bosh. What would I want to do? Just literally, as Kenny mentioned, just everyone enjoy the holidays.
Yeah, yeah.
My Christmas tree's up. Look at the Christmas tree lights. Look outside and do nothing, and just
Yeah.
be time with the family. So I've got a Czech Christmas, an English Christmas, a Spanish Christmas.
Yeah.
So one's going to be hot, one's going to be cold, the other one's going to rain. And yeah,
So
We're
cold, hot,
trying
and
to
wet.
keep all of the subscribers still
Interesting.
subscribed, so we're not going to say which one is going to be which.
Of course.
no, true.
Okay.
And no, back to professional.
have to
I
get-
just
you
hope
can comment.
everything goes well, everything's secure. Work in the
Yeah,
industry
yeah.
we work in, and it's going to be a busy Christmas, unfortunately, because
Yeah,
as
yeah.
you know, technology doesn't wait, and everyone decides to go live and migrate at Christmas. Bastards.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And
that
as,
does
and as
happen.
yeah, sorry, continue, please.
No, I just wanted to build on what you're saying. It sounds like the two of us have a little bit stolen your show, which is making it
A little
just
bit.
tiny bit uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So
No, just the seating arrangement. I don't know if you're a male,
I
which
know
you're not,
that
darling. My crackers
I know
are
it's
smashed.
your other angle is your better angle. So sorry for using your right angle.
I'm
instead
so
of your
happy. I'm
angle.
happy you're sat there.
That's
trust
perfectly
me.
okay. But it's a very good business question. How do you handle unexpected situations when somebody does something you're not expecting?
Harsh
Like
language.
stealing your show, for example.
We're not stealing it. We're sat here. And I haven't got my iPad, which I always pretend to read because I can't, because I'm blind as a bat. And no, I think this is great. It's to see something on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
And the same in work. When someone finally put themselves in your shoes, which happens very rarely. But even today there was an instance, and somebody was literally just raining shit down on us all, saying we need this and KT sessions, that and that. And I went, no, you've had it all, and exposed the fact that one team's not doing something. And they took a minute and went, actually, you're right. So
So,
lesson learned there. Sometimes don't shoot shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because you guys been hosting these shows for 2 seasons, a season and a half.
You guys have been on.
Nobody knows the number of episodes that's been aired, but let's keep.
What number is this
let's
one?
Keep that.
Correct.
This is a holiday special edition.
Yeah.
But the thing is that as a fan of the show and Inform Matters podcast,
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and we've all watched you interviewing, very well informed and established and experienced people, but nobody really knows who you guys are. So how would you define yourselves in your professional life, and about your career journey, and how what kind of a path you've taken to become the person you are now and to sit here?
Wow, it's a very...
Jesus.
Where do you want to start? Do you want to
Can
go
you
first?
get some flashcards and write that down?
There you go.
I'll have a stab at in the express version of 25 years. And
You worked for them.
yeah, literally. I fell into project management via a lady, and I was in a technical role before that. I've been freelance for 25 years. Being freelance allows you to spend a lot of time in a lot of different companies. I have colleagues that are celebrating 5 and 10 years in the current company they're in. I'm lucky to get to 5 or 10 months sometime, but that's normal for me, and I like the variety. Sometimes you get 6 months, sometimes you get 16 months. That brings a lot of variety, and it brings a lot of exposure to a whole world of shit. But also a world of good stuff. And by that, I've enjoyed a good variety of verticals, so business industries to work in. So pharma, banking,
tree.
yeah, and that, yeah. When I will be in a holiday, I can't wait. A good variety of verticals: banking, finance, retail, pharma, cyber tech, professional services. That's also been some of it. You don't really want to rush back because it's not the best experience. Most of it, and more recently in 15 years in project management, but it's taken me around the world, Adler. I have really nothing to moan about. And then when we decided to spark this podcast, it was the idea of, well, actually, our beloved snoozing producer, that we would tell some stories, and of which Danny and I have millions.
Never heard of it.
No, of course, because we can't tell everything on this show, otherwise we're going to jail. Not in an inappropriate. Well, fuck it.
Try and find us.
Before I dig a large hole here. But we've been around the world together, and we've been fortunate enough to work together a lot. But we're pals outside of work, of course, as well. There's no end of stories. Some will never reach the podcast because it's just not. That's just not going to happen. Yeah.
You see, my eyes are just fixated now. Don't say it.
Don't say it. Don't. Yeah. No. I was not going to indulge, and it brings us to the current day where. Back to the kind of aging stage where I don't want to do. I'm cool with almost a fixed 40-hour week, and the weekends are mine. And if I want to have my legs up the wall, a tree, whatever I want to spend my time, I really want to turn off. I don't know what. Yeah, the infatuation with trees. I don't know where that came from.
I've not when I'm a jumper.
No. Yeah. There's
no trees.
You get jangly things, ding ding, and all that kind of stuff. So it's been great. Lots of stories. Good life. Quite happy with it.
Good.
How about yourself then?
Me. Funny story. Very good story.
Here we go.
So before I met Kenny, I was in sales, had a software recruitment company, had a lot of fun. And on the 16th of August 2007, through a friend, hi Alan, happy holidays, he said, there's this clusterfuck going on where I work.
Train wreck of a project.
Yeah, it's a big program, and they're looking for a project manager. You'd fit the bill. And I went, that's not what I do. All right, so we had a couple of shots of Slivovitz in the kitchen. It went a bit late. Then I went out the next morning, had an interview at 1:00 at DHL IT Services, and I bought a salmon-coloured shirt, salmon-coloured tie. Went to reception and said, "I'm here to see you, Mr. Phipps."
Oh, you could call him Mr. at that time.
Mr. Yeah, it's changed.
Things have moved on.
It's changed. Fast forward. I mean, what's that? 2000. So I had an interview with Kenny.
Yeah.
I sat in this fucking huge. You know the meeting room. You know we've all worked. Huge meeting room for 4,000 people, and I'm sat at the end of it. And Kenny wishes in. Those were the days at the time when it was a shirt and tie.
Yeah,
and suit.
certain bird.
Fancy food too, or no? That was not part.
No, this is the best bit. He turned up and went, "I haven't got your CV." So my brain's thinking, fucking winner. Because I can't remember what I put on it. Because I drank a litre of Slivovitz last night with my friend Alan. I was a bit puddled, wore the wrong clothes. And anyway, I got an SMS, walk into the metro, and it said, not to circumvent things, that was a fabulous meeting. You got the job. And 52 countries later, the biggest migration programs on the planet, more laughs than ever, and bonded a friendship between myself and Kenny. So, that's 2007 to today. I mean, before that, who cares?
Yeah.
I was still a teenager. And So yeah,
Yeah.
so that's
Nice.
my not professional career. I still had things before.
Yeah.
But the most memorable periods of my life were
Holding
you know,
microphones and shit. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
that's different.
We-
career.
yeah,
and then getting this show,
Yeah.
as we said, at
Yeah.
the start, I was like, God, I've always wanted to do a podcast, but couldn't be bothered doing research. And then we started this, and you know, we know you guys as you know in a friend circle, but also professional circle. And,
We met Joel as well. Of course, he's
Joel's been on and been watching this, and then the amount of people, the knowledge we've gained.
Yep.
I've stopped listening to music. I listen to podcasts. I listen about archaeology. I listen about UFOs.
Oh, interesting.
Worlds
It's
opened up.
interesting. I'm sorry for interrupting.
It's okay.
However, you're sort
somebody
of
shoot.
driving towards a question. You mentioned an interesting thing. We are friends. That's true, but we were colleagues before
Yeah.
we actually became friends.
Yeah.
And sometimes this is a question: what is ethical? Like, can you work with friends? And
Mhm.
this is
Were we
usually big
ever
in large
ethical, though?
corporations. So we're on the ethical level for a minute or so.
Yeah, very
So
true.
what would your answer be to can you work with friends? Is that an
I think
okay thing to do
I mean,
or not?
as Kenny said, and I'll hand this over to you, is when you're an external, your job environment changes so often.
Mm-hmm.
So it can be 6 months, 12 months, a year and a half max. And then you're with new team, new time zones, new boundaries, new
Good
products, new learning.
New process.
Mainly the learning. You have to
Yeah,
know
yeah,
that
yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
the project's already failed, the money's run out, you need to save it. And, you know, my attributes are the people I work with are fabulous. You know, you will bang your head against a brick wall. And I think the only thing that's brought this out myself, and I think it's the same for Kenny, is a personality in this world, and the job that you do is the only thing that brings you through. And I had accolades from, I got goosebumps, not because I do drugs. Not anymore! Accolades through this morning to my team, and I was so proud of them because I've helped guide them to open this way, look after yourself this way, ring fence your team, be a team player, without realising I'm doing it. And, you know, I go, all
Yeah.
the meetings, I'm wearing a different hat, same as the show. You know, I've got my tattoos hanging out. No one cares. I make jokes. I host the meetings. I make it the light-hearted bits even more light-hearted. And I've probably just gone around the houses there, rocking up my bum to answer your question, but no idea what the answer was. But did that answer it?
Do you consider it ethical to work with friends or not?
I do, yeah.
I do too, actually.
I think you need
and
your boundaries.
I know this is about
Yeah.
you. This is not about
I told you I
me.
wouldn't answer it.
But actually, before even
Sorry,
Adler
Natalie.
and I were colleagues, we actually were friends. And I know that the line is very thin, but this is something good for Extelligence as well. You can recommend your friends if you want
Yeah,
to
for
work
sure.
with Extelligence. There are many positions open, so make sure you will check this
God, it's
out.
good. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
it's
it.
good.
Yeah, ring, like, subscribe,
Yes.
ring that bell. It's
Yeah,
in the box
yeah.
below.
Ding, ding.
I think it's important to keep the boundaries. We probably have not covered all of the professional pieces of advice here. Like, you're not supposed to be drinking before you go for an interview. But even the bad things can be bringing good things in you. None of us is doing drugs anymore, as it has been said. But certain
Speak for yourself.
experiences maybe bringing bad decisions may sometimes bring good outcomes.
The thing is, I think another boundary. Kenny, you go. I won't let you anyway.
No, I was going to say you don't always have the choice. You know,
What?
Danny's hired me,
good
I've hired
point.
Danny, and in areas of the world, if opportunity presents itself, you'd be a maniac not to take it because sometimes you never have the choice, and of course, and it's likely good. Now I've bent the odd boundary. A lot, actually. I was about to say a little bit. And by that, I mean, there's been a few relationships. But listen, if you spend enough time, I mean, girlfriend relationships in my
Are you
case.
talking ethical about bonking your friends in
oh,
the disabled toilets, or are we talking
I'm
about
the interpreter
working
and
with
I do
colleagues?
not know all of the words there.
I don't think,
Luckily, most of the audience
I don't
don't
think it
either.
necessarily has to be
Excellent.
in the disabled toilet.
It could be any-
There's more space.
Yeah,
It's more hygienic.
It could be anywhere in the office.
well, if you spend enough time with people, something's going to happen. Like, and I mean in the relationship sense, irrespective of your sexuality.
Because we've seen it go wrong, and I won't mention.
Yeah,
names,
very
but
wrong, very wrong.
You always do when you're in a project and it's an external project. You're always, we need this person now, and there's no one around. You're like,
Yeah.
Shall I tell my friends a lie? They can work under me. I'll tell them how to blag the first month, get loads of money. It happens. It happened. If you've not done it, you can totally lying. So subscribe.
Yeah.
But you get some relationships where you're fabulous outside of work, and then it just doesn't gel.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah, but
workplace,
it's, as
not because-
Natalia mentioned, it's a very thin line, and it's
Very,
kind of, I think
very.
you also touched on a really good point that because you were contractors, your professional world was very different than employee professional
Very,
world.
very.
So you were
Yeah.
you were switching that world too often
Yep,
that you
yep.
were probably used to that
Yep.
environment to meet people, make friends, move on to
Yep.
another job, stay friends, or there's a lot of different, I think, scenarios involved. That it's not just
Huge,
like
it's so different.
friends
so different.
or colleagues. It's like so many different
Exactly.
versions of this.
Yeah.
Or as you mentioned, that once you get to know somebody for long enough, something's going to happen either professionally or personally.
Right.
People go
Exactly.
different ways, but and you also gave shout out to a couple of friends that
Yeah.
you worked with, and you also mentioned here. Who would you say were the most influential people in your personal professional life
Sure.
that built your career?
I think you need to
journey into this?
split them down the middle.
Influential or influential?
Yeah, like people.
And I imagine
people that
positively
The
influential.
side of Adler.
Well, yeah, well, and of course.
Those are Hussein Bolt.
Although,
though.
and here's a true story. Just to big up our current hosts. There was a lady a certain lady that became very famous, even when Danny and I were in a certain, dump behind it.
There's a turkey-
Yeah,
there's a
turkey
turkey-
shit.
Yeah. It's relevant to Christmas. Yeah. And if you haven't seen that episode,
Donkey!
that'll do, donkey. There's an episode where we all lost it. We'll put a link to it. There was a
That'll
certain
do,
lady, very quick story, who became very famous because of her fantastic capability, and we didn't know we knew her, and it turned out to be Natalia. And for that reason,
what?
we knew this girl was running whirlwinds around people, great capability, well respected, and all that kind of stuff. And Natalia's fortunately has told us the full story since. But at the time, we didn't, or indeed, as the story became known, we didn't realise that was you at the time. So
I think we've
you were quite famous in a culturally enterprise class,
been very fortunate.
ethical way. Yeah. And to this day, you still have that reputation, and I still hear this story.
Well, there's one of the feeds on the podcast. Yes, we do get watched.
Yeah,
And it was that's Natalie. We used to
Yeah,
work
we
together
could-
in such a. And
Yeah,
I used
yeah,
to work with him when literally I was a bomb disposal expert. I go
not
to
an
work,
actual. Well, to be
No,
fair,
yeah,
a professional
put out
enterprise
fires.
class.
I literally go to work. They say, right, you get on a plane. Well, when am I coming back? 2 weeks, 3 months later, still there. Put the fires out. Come back, brush my teeth. Right, you're going to get where? So that's why I travelled so much with
Wait,
Sir
now I
Company.
believe you. Before I did not. But no.
Yeah,
So
Thank
yeah,
you.
well that's a good
But
shout. That's really interesting.
professionally, I mean, I always shout out to my good man Ian Hill. Again, we're
Yeah.
going back to. We spent a long time at this company, all of us.
Yeah, off and on. Yeah,
even though I was there fucking every second weekend. And, someone very, very similar age, but I always looked at him that he was older and wiser until I got to know him on a personal level, on a friendly level. And we go out and shoot the bears, but you come to the office and if something went south
yeah,
and you did it, he'll drag you through it. It's your responsibility.
yeah, you're on it.
And that's what I respect is I love to have the thought that I can go to work, respect my boss as a boss or as a team player,
Yep.
a team member, but then I can also, be silly, funny, rude, go out and have a beer afterwards.
Yeah.
But you put me in place if I've gone wrong, help me learn, help mentor me, and I can pass that down to others, but still go outside of work and go and be a dick.
Yeah.
And that's how I've balanced my life, for the 72 years I've been alive.
And, and you and I have similar people around. Ian,
27.
I mean, talking of unethical, I dated his niece for 8 years. Take that out. So things.
He does watch this as well.
No, I know he does. Hello.
Hashtag it.
And so boundaries get blurred down to the amount of time you spent together. And like, it's all very good in the past.
She was fit.
And I've been mentored by a lot of, and she was fit.
True.
And she was
Right set of Gregory's.
That was not the reason.
Yes.
And so there's loads of people. Madonna, not the Madonna,
Donkey.
a lady called Madonna who convinced me to get into project
Make
management.
a sentence. Make a
Made
sentence,
sense.
Kenny.
She got me into project management. Has always mentored me, and a few other people have too. And then you get your own peers are good influence.
So instead is the reflection that you just mentioned, the company and the wonderful leaders, both male and female, that you have had in your life. Do you take time to reflect on your past experiences, or do you think that's
Yeah,
just
'cause they
something
hurt.
for what do
Every
you learn
morning.
from that?
Most mornings. Contracting, Danny will tell his own view, but it can be rather unceremoniously brutal. And by that, you can feel utterly disposable on occasion. And I've been under a number of buses.
Well, any
How-
one
how do
second
you
you are the
protect
CEO's
yourself?
contact, and then you're underneath
Yeah,
the bus.
So,
then.
so how that's very difficult, I guess,
It's-
mental wise. So
yeah.
how
Yep.
do you protect
Drink.
yourself?
I don't anymore.
Cut that one out.
Not anymore.
Water.
I don't
Drinking
anymore.
helps.
1 year dry.
Water.
Do
Yeah.
it, everybody.
Stay hydrated.
Focus.
Drink water.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Drink-
Lunar, yeah. Sure.
That is not a
Drinking
fucking leap year.
can help. That's not the fix, of course. That just takes the edge off it, so to speak. The first couple of times, it hurts, and it's ugly, and you question yourself a lot. Unfortunately, I'm kind of thick-skinned to it. So when it happens, you're like,
Have you always been thick-skinned?
No.
How
I've
did
seen.
you learn
He's
it?
cried on my shoulder. Trust me.
Yeah,
You have to put the brave face.
Yeah.
But inside you turning the knife.
You question yourself, and then you beat yourself up, and it can just be nothing more than you're just not going to get on with the person. I've left assignments because I know I'm not going to.
Just because you're an external, you're a contractor, you get paid more. Yes. It doesn't mean you should be treated like shit.
So this
Unfortunately,
is also a good news or a good piece of information for anybody who does work with Xtelligence. Treat your contractors nicely.
Yeah.
Oh, they do.
Nice to
They
them.
do.
No,
They do.
They
and
do.
whoever they work with.
They're also
please.
people.
Yes, understand that they're also human.
Funny, we all laughed at that.
And we should qualify. We don't always get paid more, but we get more of it in cash. So you get permies get benefits and protection and a bunch of other stuff. We take the cash home and have to put that to work.
Well, you're expected to hit the ground, not hit the ground.
Yeah.
What you normally do, you're supposed to hit the ground running.
And we do spend a lot of time. If you
How
think
do you bounce back?
You get, I don't know, you have to build up resilience to it.
that's
How do you
good
do
way of
that?
putting it.
I think it's a
Well, yeah, I
precious
used
piece
to-
of
you know
what?
advice.
The more it happens, there's a
just become
natural
resistant?
subconscious. You build, and you know, I'm going to take on this assignment, and it might be a week, could be a year, could be 10 years. Unlikely to be 10 years because we're not allowed to. It doesn't matter for tax reasons. You can't be there too long. You build up a natural resilience. Now back to the thick skin point. If it happened, okay, on to the next assignment.
Well, you need hobbies, can you? And
Yes.
you
That's a
guys
good
know
point.
me, so I took up painting. I'm a musician.
And
You know.
you're incredibly talented at both, if I may say.
Thank you very much. I still owe you a picture, which I've got. So there's painting, there was writing songs,
You're
writing
talented.
music.
in a different way.
Excellent project manager.
You know, I mean, Kenny, you've just started flying lessons.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go,
I
yes.
just a bucket list thing for a long time, and now that I'm fairly
You can only
settled,
fail once.
badly.
You can only live once.
I actually last weekend I made a really big mistake and I filled my shorts. Six flying hours into being a private pilot, and I've always wanted to do it, and it terrifies me and excites me in equal measure.
But it's kept you in more evenings.
Yes.
You've been up earlier focusing and studying.
Arts, motorcycle, and being pilot.
Yeah.
So essentially spending the time outside of work is equally important as.
You need to get out of
Yeah,
your
you-
catacomb
skills.
as well, because if you,
You
work
do,
at home,
yeah.
you live at home, you cook at home, sleep at home. I work at home.
Yeah.
You got to do something. I've toned all the. I haven't painted anything for a year. Haven't picked my guitar up for a year because I've found I've given up some other habits and I found a different focus. So I'm now more interested in learning. So
Yeah,
learning's
well, I mean,
taken
you
over.
say that, but doing this podcast has been a hobby for both.
Yeah,
of you.
yeah,
It's not
yeah. Love
like
it.
It's not like a full
Love
time
it.
day job for
I mean,
you.
when you,
but
if you think we've had someone whose NASA is the client,
Yeah.
to someone who manages supercomputers,
yeah,
and to the top cybersecurity heads on the planet,
Yeah.
to you guys, the experiences in teamwork, management, people skills, everything
Yeah.
that we've listened to.
Yeah.
I go home with a smile on my face. Going,
Yeah.
and
that's
that's
cool.
and that's
cool.
that was what I was going to ask, because Natalia actually pointed out in a good point that you guys are doing this now. I don't know, for a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, I think it's week 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can tell it's festive. Oh,
Yeah,
is
I
it
know.
January? Is it
Yeah.
March?
Who knows?
I'm just saying, based on how good you are, because you still look like amateurs.
We don't
But,
get flattered. Look
yeah.
at the jumpers.
No, but I mean, you've been doing it for 2 successful seasons.
Yeah, we think
one of
so.
the
Yeah,
episodes are there. And my question was that you did this as like a side hobby that you just came up and you started doing it. But how has this affected your life personally and professionally? Like, you take all this input, you meet all these people, you have all these conversations. What was the effect of all of this into your personal and professional life?
Depends how you take it. I mean, every guest before they've come on, even if you know them, you do a bit of research.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're paying attention, actually
My-
looking things up.
My
No,
LinkedIn views
what I
went
mean
up.
is, like, comparing to before you were doing this to now. If you compare your life personally and professionally, what has been the effect that you feel?
No, just look.
but-
No, nothing for me.
Yeah.
I live a different.
So
live a
you
different.
guys didn't
Yeah.
add anything to
No,
that.
No. I take away a lot from it, but it
Yeah.
doesn't affect my personal life. Myself. Well, it affects
Yeah,
my
well, I
personal
mean,
life.
it's like an
I'm not at
impact,
home.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
But the joy I get out of it, the positivity
we
I get out of it is
right
amazing.
good laugh. I mean, my mother says to us, we did to technology what Top Gear did to cars. She doesn't find cars immensely exciting in the slightest, but three funny guys make them funny. So we kind of make tech and marketing. And
nice.
So Mum, that's what she said. That's come from my mother. Now, there's a bias
the
there.
next podcast. I understood.
Yeah, we should do a watch podcast.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I, in you know, 'cause I had a burnout some years ago, so I'm quite. You'd never know. It was Christmas time for you, and one for me, and one for you. Exactly. You paid really well.
Yes.
And sorry, I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, you invariably, and I didn't want to burn out again. I didn't want to spend too much time doing side hustles and all that shit.
You did burn out.
I horrifically burn out. It took me 3 years kind of to get back, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to fill my time outside work with anything stressful. This is just a great laugh. You meet good people. It's a bit of research in it because Slumpy Pants over there doesn't do shit. But
by the way, if you Google, can you explain to him how to use a calendar?
Yeah. So when we want to schedule stuff to people.
No, honestly, no joke. It's like, what's the schedule? What do you mean? For Tuesday next week. What do you mean? And so he starts another WhatsApp group. We love you.
Tuesday is the new Tuesday. That's okay.
Have a look at my phone. It's Tuesday every fucking day. Pardon the French. It's Thursday. It's Halloween.
Yeah. Well. So okay. So I mean, this has had some effect on your life in a sense, in a positive way.
Of course.
From the learning perspective, from the from the way that you probably think, from the way that you do your job, from the way that you apply
networking opportunities, things I hear can be the smallest point you take back to work, all that kind of stuff.
We could do with having the Hawaiian Tropic team.
Is there any business area you haven't covered yet, and anyone you would like to interview in
Good question.
How do we expand on it? Because if you, I know not you
Watches,
guys, but for myself and Kennedy and Kelly, the start was very focused on cybersecurity and tech.
Yeah,
we've tried to, in season 2 we've moved it to it's about tech. But in the last episode we had with Joel was how do you manage life balance, which I think we spoke to yourself about. Life balance, career. How do you bring your kids into the IT world of security?
Yeah, it evolves, definitely. Trying
to make it more of a story about the person that's being interviewed as opposed to generic questions about a technology.
Yes.
Anyone can Google a technology. If I didn't realise that in this room I was connected to Wi-Fi, I could have just searched Google all the time and not talked to you.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
I remember when I was in the
evolving,
show,
and that's the fun part.
I don't remember which episode it was, but when you asked me to come on the show, I was like, I don't know anything about cybersecurity.
Right.
It was very much focused on that before, and then it evolved into different areas.
And we realised that because that's going to have a limited appeal, and we don't. There's no learning in talking about what you know, right? So we ventured out into information in the world of marketing with a lady in from Microsoft, and it was fascinating the use cases she presented. And I mean, Danny said we should get a bit more life into this. We're all a bit. You can be really tired of talking about tech and all that kind of shit because we do it all day. And then of course Joe's got a young family, and they're becoming very inquisitive around their use of tech, and he has got to control it because that's a big bad place if you do it the wrong way. And so that was quite interesting. In fact, Maddie, his late wife, she sent me a comment the other day saying this is fantastic. Of course, she is mother of his kids, and she learned a little bit about how he does this because maybe he was a bit more honest.
Well, that can expand the audience, not just to people who work in it.
Yeah, of course.
Like now, Joel, hi, Marika. His wife's watching it. The kids are watching it. Yeah. So you're expanding your audience, and I'm very much into the info matters bit now.
Yeah.
Is there's going to be a topic, but it'll have 3 topics within it, and it's who are you, what do you do, what inspires you. Same with the questions that you've been asking me, Natalie. And I'm like, shit, she's going to be good. Shit, she's going to be good. And I'm like, fuck it, it's my show. I'll listen to it.
You thought you were the Bamber Gas going.
It's from having a combination of you guys and all the other guests that have come on, and we've gone away and gone, okay, amazing. But let's stir this up and add little extra bits to it. So make it more organic than just.
And you always comment after the show, that was good, or we should do this better, or that sort of. So it has an immense. I mean, it captures you. It's not a massive commitment. It was never designed to be.
It's fun. It's great.
It's fun. It's great. Buzz. Yeah, and we learn. I think.
So if you could interview anyone, dead or alive,
Donald Trump,
preferably alive.
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump.
Yeah.
How about you?
Can you imagine how that would go down? Billy Connolly.
Billy Connolly, Donald Trump.
Yeah, so guys, if you're watching, please.
Who
should we interview? They have to be alive and
Here we go.
accessible.
So Natalie, who would you like to interview the most?
I wanted to interview you two.
Jingle bell, jingle bell, jingle all the way. Bucket list.
Yeah.
Adler, who would you like to interview the most, if you could?
Dead or alive?
either or.
You can't really interview anyone dead, but
Yeah.
If you're picking
It's really
anyone
hard to get
from
them scheduled
a
in.
politically exposed country, you may say life, and they may be dead, so.
don't say Jesus because he was actually a donkey.
Yeah.
See,
His first image,
yeah.
4,000 years BC.
That's the great.
Thank you, Armin Hillman.
Dead
My podcast.
or alive? We don't know. We don't know about him.
I'd
Well,
like to
you-
interview Mike Tyson, but
So
I just think Donald
Schrodinger's
Trump would be
cat.
cool.
I would
Probably.
interview Mike
Mike
Tyson.
Tyson.
Mike Tyson is.
But I just feel like
top
that, you're
interviewer,
brilliant.
yeah.
Whereas
Yeah.
Donald Trump is just, I don't know.
I would interview him in a helmet, just in case.
Donald Trump.
Oh, you're in a helmet.
Yeah.
These ones are
Oh,
rather
come on,
hard.
Brandon. If you're listening out there,
So as we're kind of reaching, towards the end of the show,
We've
I
just
wanna-
started.
I just
Come on.
want to make sure. I just want to make sure that we have some kind of a, expectations for the audience and for the future guests of the show. What could they be looking forward
well,
to?
I think we should ask you because you're the future of the show. You're clearly doing a great
No,
job.
I mean from your perspective.
John!
what
Listen
should
to the
we-
feedback
What should
and
we?
we have
What
changed
should
the
we be
host.
looking forward to in the next year, in the future episodes?
Obviously,
what
there's-
would you have in a pipeline? for us?
Obviously, there's me shutting it more.
Never gonna happen.
Yeah, that's obviously some feedback. Yeah.
I mean, you remember Khalid?
yes.
I solid Khalid, fucking Adlers first.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, thanks, gentlemen. I really enjoyed that monologue. And that summarised
Still
it.
remember that? Yeah.
I remember you went red, and I was like,
I'm red
shit, I shouldn't
23
have
It
said
does
it.
sound like self-reflection, which is wonderful.
Yeah, no, I do listen to feedback selectively.
So, to answer that, where's the show going?
Listen, but do you act on
Yeah.
it? That's the question.
I know I do.
Okay.
Up a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, off a tree.
Now back to
That's
Adler's
gonna stick,
question.
But back to your question. I mean, like I say, you started. Evolution. Season 1, very focused because we only just started out. We didn't know what we were doing. It was trial and error. Luckily, we had people like yourselves to come on who we trust as friends and colleagues, past colleagues. You can see in Season 2, it's evolving to get more involved in letting people be more organic with the conversation. You don't need notes. You don't need tons of questions. Thanks for your
More conversational.
More conversational.
Yeah.
And I've been doing a lot, for me personally, a lot of listening to other people's podcasts to see how they're approaching it. Because it's not an interview. It's not this. It wants to be informal. I want the show to be 3 hours long. I want Donald Trump. I want world peace. I want a Ferrari. No, or a 911. And Season 3, it's always...
The car, 911 the car.
The car, yeah. Yeah. They can't get in. And Season 3, it's, as I've said from the start, it's info matters. So the topics are endless.
It's wide,
exactly.
wide and varied.
Information
I like that.
matters, and not crypto, not this, not that. It's great. We've learned so much about crypto, about cybersecurity, zero trust,
I like that.
people's lives, diversity in the workplace. Bothered. It's just let it evolve, get it more organic, and get people. And the show will go longer. I'm hoping that people will start to listen to it more than the initial 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Like, subscribe, ring that bell.
There was the suggestion.
down here, probably. I don't know.
Yeah,
So,
follows your finger.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope that answered your question. Anyway,
There was the suggestion, Adam, and you will laugh, that we do this live. That has liability ensued to written all over it, so we've decided that it'll never be live. Because of course, it's pre-recorded.
I'd like to
There
do it
might be
live.
an option. We just need to reel it in a bit, but we'll
I'd like
see
to
how
do it
that
live.
goes. Because then you get live comments and you can answer things live. People can
Yeah,
chat
get
and all
feedback
that
from
kind
an
of stuff. So
audience,
maybe
there.
we'll do something like that. We'll have a little think.
What do you mean? How do you guys think it should evolve? You
I
know
like
it
that. I like
that.
that idea. I think just focusing on info matters rather than
Generally.
a topic of
Yeah.
what you're focusing on. I think that's going to open the horizon.
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
to
yeah.
I mean, what we
unlimited
never asked, we
topics.
had a guy on Lemke. You're
Yeah.
amazing twice. Now the guy is supercomputers for NASA, the Pentagon, and you don't have a question for him because you're like,
Yeah, how's
No,
the
yeah,
weather?
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like reading,
Yeah,
it's like reading a James Patterson book.
Yeah.
But luckily I've not asked him, let's say, what are you actually wearing under that t-shirt? Because it might expose a
Speaking
can
of
of
that,
worms. But
I feel really warm, so I'm sick of this. Whatever.
I hope you got something rude
It's not
underneath.
that type of.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's
Oh,
fantastic.
brilliant!
Yeah, a full-on Christmas tree. Love it. Well done, mate. That's genius.
Well done.
Oh, dear Lord. Good show.
And that's it. I mean, you've seen the show a number of times. You've been on it a number of times. What do you think its trajectory should be, and what's your feedback? I mean, you're here clearly, which is good.
I like the fact that you have an open mind, and I think expanding beyond IT may also be very
Yeah,
interesting.
we should.
Because there are very many areas that are interesting and very meaningful. I do actually have someone in mind that I will.
Donald Trump?
suggest if you're- How did you know? Yeah.
Do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if you knew him.
Politics,
You ruined
I
the
know a
surprise.
person who knows him, so
Oh, that was
I'm one.
But that was you asked me, and because I don't like delay, I
I'll
just said
do
it.
my best
Yeah.
to
Ring up
grant your
Uncle Trump.
wishes if he ever decides to visit this.
I don't know why I said it.
Well,
Because
he's
I would
married
rather
to
interview Mike
he's
Tyson.
married to a Czech. He's married to a
Well,
Czech.
Mike Tyson 2 against Donald 1. So
Mike
No,
Tyson,
I'd go for
definitely.
Mike
Yeah.
Tyson
Tyson.
actually.
Yeah.
If anybody.
No
alive,
disrespect,
I would
Donald.
go
I'd
for
love
Mike
to sit
Tyson,
down with
yeah,
the guys.
definitely.
The guys.
We'll-
Mike
The
Tyson's
guy's-
legend.
The guy's
He's a
full
legend.
of wisdom. And he's
Mike
a
Tyson
legend.
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
Imran
Our
Khan,
best.
and then a squash
Yeah.
player.
But you also mentioned a book, so you're a reader. So to
Yeah.
finish with any recommendations as the festive season is approaching, and maybe we want
Well,
to
I'm up
give
my
some
tree.
ideas for gifts. What book would you recommend, or a book that is on the tip of your mind? for anyone who may want to-
Crikey, I mean, for the readers, I read like drivel, basically. Literally. Lee Child.
I mean, emails.
Lee Child. I read email. But I mean,
Absolute genius.
I've been consumed. I've gone down a rabbit hole of podcasts on
Right.
seriously.
Or what podcast to subscribe
Seriously,
to?
I'm Joe Rogan. I mean, I know he's
Okay.
over,
Or
but he gets some
Informatics.
amazing guests.
That's the podcast.
Yeah,
to
oh,
subscribe.
damn,
I mean,
I fell down my own hole
Yeah,
there.
we do have. I mean, we do want
We cut
to
that out.
reflect
Yeah.
on to reflect on some of the content because we do get a little bit controversial now and again. That's the fun. I do watch our own podcast and I
Yeah,
cringe
of
a little
course.
bit sometimes because I speak fast and I'm sorry, but and all that shit. And sometimes I'm not sorry.
Learning, yeah. Like
But you got to learn
yeah.
when to shut it, when to not.
Only if you would.
Mate, we don't.
Yeah, no,
What
I
is
know.
it,
I
episode
find
38?
I was dressed up in a condom thing for Halloween, and part of the whole act was for 3 hours I couldn't speak, and I couldn't do it. I got to 2.5 hours, like, leave it, and I had to speak. But that's in my
Recommendations for
personality,
Christmas,
like a
Kenny? Any
Christmas,
recommendations?
yeah, you gotta have some downtime. I mean, obviously, all that sort of
Yeah,
good
what's
stuff.
your Christmas gifts for the audience?
My Christmas
Be nice.
gifts-
Look after your parents.
Don't be a bell end.
Listen. Give your love.
Yeah.
Decorate your Christmas tree properly. Don't leave candles lit at night. Look after the elderly, your grandparents. Give them a call.
Take
And if
notes.
there's anybody lonely out there who's suffering
Make some effort,
from
yeah.
any kind of
Don't say that.
personal, mental illness, who's lonely at Christmas, give them a call.
Yeah, yeah.
And if you actually tag us, we'll send you a T-shirt. I think the
Yeah.
biggest gift you can give this Christmas is those
time.
people who are watching this. Is we love doing it and we love sharing the information. But there are people out there that don't have access. Give them a shout.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll enjoy listening to this, like Joel's kids enjoy listening
Mm-hmm.
to it, and we can expose other people's ideas and come on the show. And I
That's
think this
great.
gives us that
of a
medium
forum to do that.
And
Thank you,
and it's
Danny.
fabulous.
And your
Beautiful.
gift for your audience?
Infinite amounts of wisdom and love. I mean, Danny, kind of mental health is kind of close to my heart. Not from my own ill health, but or mental health, but from other places. Let's just say that. So, cutting somebody some time, particularly this time of year, should do it anyway. It doesn't have to be Christmas to do it. However, it becomes quite
And
important.
recommend the channel. You can win a
you think
T-shirt.
about it, and yes, recommend the channel, and we'll find some
And also,
T-shirts.
actually,
Sorry,
I would say to the
he'll send you a T-shirt. We'll just ask him nicely.
But as
Well-
Adler said, all the guys have said, just write in with your
Yeah.
requests, your comments.
Yeah,
Give,
feedback is the best gift.
Please
that
email
anybody
these
can
two
give.
now. They're responsible for all the fan
Yeah.
mail.
This is gonna be
Well,
fun.
Emails are nowhere listed.
Yeah, we're here still as guest hosts.
Yeah.
So you know.
You
But
guys are wonderful.
speaking of guests and your amazing gift to your audience, I would like to give you all a gift, and I would like to invite the producer here. Just come and fucking join us for a minute.
Get over here, ugly.
Come on, come on. Come on,
We don't
Jonas.
normally see.
Come on, Jonas. Because we have special
Oh.
presents for you. Yes, you come and hand it over. Come and hand it over.
No,
Come
You've,
on.
you- you-
it's not that.
This is
bad.
Come on,
actually a
hand
genuine
over.
surprise.
Yes.
You know the gifts that I
Come
give on
on.
the show, so I'm
No,
expecting
come on.
something
Come on, hand it over.
supremely shit.
Come on, hand it over.
Thank you so much.
Should not
Really?
It's what you didn't want.
It's because
hello.
Kenny's gonna be a pilot. I thought he would.
Yeah.
Just come join.
That's
Just come
fabulous.
join here. I have a
I'm good.
I have a question
USB
for all of you.
cyber
I think
safe.
you need to be
Well,
here.
Yes,
That's fabulous, dude.
absolutely.
So, see?
So,
Did we give it the right way around? I don't know.
Hang on, what-
It would look
Oh,
different.
that's just so brilliant.
I don't know what that is, but
Oh, that goes where you think that goes.
You know what I was thinking of.
Exactly.
I know where he goes shopping.
That's where it goes. That's where it goes.
Take me home.
Before-
Fun.
Stretch me.
No, it says take me home. Fun childhood.
Yeah.
That's
well,
why the producer
It's
doesn't
never
come on
too
the
late.
show. It's never too late.
Is this from the local priest?
Yeah, I ordered it.
Of course
I'll
it is.
bet you
Of course
did.
it is.
Why would you order
Looks
that?
like you know a lot about
Of course I
Christmas.
didn't. I just got it from the. Can't say that.
Before this gets
thank you,
controversial,
Alex.
you better close this up.
Anyway, yeah. So,
I'll be
so
doing-
one final
Before we
question
wrap up.
from my side.
I'll be
Before I
donating
give-
mine to
Before I
charity.
hand over to Natalia, just one final question that I've been really meaning to ask the two of you.
Wait for it.
Why are
And
you?
it's a two-parter. I'm going to ask you one question each.
Okay.
It's a two-parter, but I'm pretty sure that the answer is going to be the same, right?
Give us it.
So,
Why are
you
you
ready
here?
for that? Who was your favorite guest? Who was your favorite co-host?
Oh
My favourite guest was Adler.
Yeah, my favourite co-host, Natalie.
No! See what we did there?
He failed. He failed.
His co-host didn't know, kind of.
He's not.
You
She's
can
not co-hosting
save
with you.
every
Hey, you can't have all the
situation.
accolades.
You
it's
couldn't have
Christmas.
won
Exactly.
twice if that's what you were
I've
after.
got your back.
I
I've got
was
your
sure the
back.
answer was
Thank
going to be the
You're
same.
no longer welcome to the show.
And we screwed it up.
You get a second gift. Yeah.
So everybody out there, I think we're wrapping up the show.
Maybe Natalia, if you have a final
Yes, please.
thoughts, any comments,
I should be
anything
wrapping up
you
the
want
show.
to. You're not
not my
working
show.
tonight.
You can't help it.
You know, it's not your
So
show.
I just want to thank you
Thank
for being willing to be the
course.
guest of your own show.
Quite
You
Tortured by amateurs.
exposed yourself, so that's actually something. You understand how difficult it is to be interviewed and to keep your thoughts
I
coherent.
thought it was really easy.
And that is maybe also how hard it is to be a consultant and to
Yeah.
deliver what the business needs. So thank you again, Xtelligence. Thank you, Adler, for being such a wonderful co-host.
Thank you.
I hope we will have the chance to do this again. And
Never.
gentlemen,
I'm busy.
for being willing to do this. So hopefully, please do subscribe, follow the channel, and if you have any consulting needs, then you know which company.
Yeah, and again, happy holidays. Be good to people out there.
Be
Be
good to people.
yourself.
Merry
Happy
Christmas, Happy
holidays.
Hanukkah, all
Thank
the
you,
above.
Xtelligence. And
Happy Xtelligence like that.
And
That was
the-
it.
and
All right.
the- and the
And
co- and the
intelligence.
co-host and the co-host of the past.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Let's see
We'll
what this goes.
see you
In 2020 next year.
5, yeah.
Exactly.
Lovely.
Damn.
So happy holidays.
Back
Happy
in the
holidays.
bunkers soon.
See you guys.
Oh, by the way, vote on the best jumper, me.
Oh,
Oh yes, feel free.
No, to be fair, I love it. See you guys.
see you.
Okay, good.